Okay, I got a nickel there. I'm gonna bury it in the test garden here. I have a nickel at 5 inches right there. And the Equinox hits it really good with the 6-inch coil. It's an iron, and I'll show you the iron here, but I'm gonna bury another nickel at 7 inches. So the 5-inch target's just a little bit too easy in this iron. And I'm gonna test it on the Simplex real quick here. 5 inches deep in the iron. I'll show you how much iron's back here. I'm in the war zone, so, you know, I won them in ground balance, right? A lot of iron, see? It's reading 20s, 60s, 70s, 5 inches deep, 19. Right? 20s, 60s, 80s, 20s, 40s, 06, 17. Now I'll try to find a spot to ground balance here, right? Hopefully I can find a ground balance here. 40s, 50s, 30s, 20s, 30s, 20s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 64, right? Now watch it change. 80s, 70s, 70s, 50s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 80s. I'm getting some 80s. 60s, 50s, 40s, really jumpy signal. So the ground balancing, you know, I'll just mute it because I can do that with the Simplex. So when you're in relic dumps, you need to ground balance before you get in all that iron, or you can manually ground balance. But you need to know what that ground phase is before you ground balance, before you manually ground balance. So just dig a few targets out, you know, dig a few targets out in the nails and whatnot and see how your detector is performing. And then you can start manually ground balancing your detector and, you know, trying to hit some deeper targets. You know, and relic dumps are tough to dig in because the ground balance issue, you know, there's just nowhere to ground balance around big iron. You know, I can't get a good ground balance on any of the stuff here. So it's really not about the numbers, man. Even if you're in clean ground, sure, you know, you can smack the targets out, you know, the shallower targets, but the deeper targets, like this 5-inch nickel in the iron there, there's a bunch of iron. I just buried a nickel anywhere. I just picked a spot, just buried it. You know, there's iron all around here in my backyard here, but I'm going to bury another nickel at 7 inches. I think I'll go with 7 inches. I tried the Vaquero one up, but the Vaquero's broken right now. The ground balance knob is broken, so I was going to test it out on that. It's hitting it, but I just can't ground balance it. It's just not performing right now. But the Simplex, you saw that the numbers change a lot when you get a good ground balance on it, and I can manually adjust this up and down, and the numbers will change. The VDIs will change on that target there. So in relic dumps, it's just really not about the numbers. Nickels in clean ground, the nickels you usually read up in the 30s, 28 to 30, 35 or so. But once you get some iron, it'll change. I'll show you that here in a second. And I got some nails there too. You know, just bury a nickel at 7 inches deep. Let's see if I can. I'll turn on the Equinox 6-inch coil here, and I'm in Park 2 mode. I should be in Park 2 mode. Yeah, Park 2 mode. I don't need a noise cancel, but I'll show you the iron. Constant hum in the background, right? A lot of foil back here. Actually, I'm gonna dig that target out later on. I just buried a piece of foil here a few days ago, right on this piece of tile right here, this blue piece of tile. Solid 11, right? It's a nickel at 5 inches deep in this iron, you know. Getting a lot of iron tones on it, right? A lot of negatives. But the Equinox is so good at those nickels, man. I get a lot of nickels with the Equinox and the Simplex, and they perform very well on the nickels. I would say that they're about the same on the nickels. This small coil here can go really deep. This 6-inch coil is just amazing, man. I've dug out wheat pennies at 8 inches deep. No problem with this coil here. Just sweep over all this foil. There's foil nails. That foil I think is like about an inch and a half deep. I did a test on it the other day. But I'll come over this dime over here. Just a lot of nails, see? Lots and lots of nails over here. There's a dime right there. So when you hear something different, like if you're just swinging an iron and you hear just a different tone than the background noise, just the iron in the background, you got to investigate those targets. Just rotate around it, right? I'm in part 2. My gain isn't too crazy. It's at 18. And, you know, a lot of people say, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you're an iron, just drop your gain down, you know, so you're not getting all the iron. No, that's not how it works. If all that iron's on the surface and you're going for the deeper targets, lowering your gain is going to do nothing. When you want to lower your gain, you want to get rid of some EMI, or you want to go shallower, right? If you want to go deep and there's iron on the surface, those targets are going to be tough to get, because you want to have your gain up high, and you're going to hear the iron no matter what you do in a relic dump. So the depth is the most important thing to consider in relic dumps. What depth are you going for? You know, so you got to adjust your sensitivity, your gain. Your gain has a lot to do with it. But if you drop your gain down when you're in a relic dump, obviously you're not going to be going as deep. But if there's big iron down there, a lot of big chunks of iron, you want to drop your gain down quite a bit, so you're not hitting that big iron. And the Equinox, the Simplex, all machines are going to hit those big pieces of iron down there, and they're going to sound good. So just, you're going to be digging up iron no matter what you do. Even with the Deus, you know, all machines, you're going to be digging up the big iron. But if you're in thick iron, you know, a lot of like nails on the surface, a lot of square nails, because square nails are different than the common nails, like around homes, like the roofing nails, or just common iron. The square nails, that old iron just sounds so good, man. You just dig up a lot of those square nails, those deeper square nails. But I'm gonna bury a coin here. I'm gonna bury. See if I have enough time left here. I'm gonna bury a nickel here. Actually, I'm not gonna bury that nickel. I'm gonna go like this. That nickel is right there, right? It's hitting it, right? I'm gonna take this square or this nail right here, just a common nail, and put it right there. See that? Take it out. I'll take that nail out. You know, this is an old nail. It's a crusty square nail, and those nails are a lot different. I'll show you what it sounds like, but it's not in the ground. You know, once iron sits in the ground for a while, it gets a lot tougher, man. Once you get a bunch of rust around that target down there at 5 inches, or even throughout the soil here, most of the nails that are in my area are common nails, newer iron. And that's a square nail right there. See, not even hitting it. I'll even move that away just a little bit right there. I can hit it just a little bit right there. I'll show you the Simplex. I'll turn this Equinox off because the Simplex is going to go crazy if I unmute it. I'll try that on the same target here. I'll show you the nickel. The nickel's down there, right there. 5-inch deep nickel, right there. There's just no way, right? Deus does the same thing. Deus does the same thing. Not nearly as bad though. The Deus does a lot better. So I'll move this out over here because I have a bigger coil. It's going to be within the, if you have a bigger coil and you're trying to go about the depth of the diameter of the coil, if I try to go 5 inches deep with that 6-inch coil there, and there's a lot of iron around that target there, it's still going to be really tough to get it. With this big coil here, I can't swing directly over that coil, over that target there, without that nail being within the field of that coil. So I'll show you. Having a big coil in relic dumps is tough. I'll just take another nail right here. I'll just take another nail right here and put it right there. Just one nail right on the surface right there. Watch this. I'll take that nail out, and I'll take that nail out. And people have been asking me to do separation, iron separation tests with like elevated nails, and you know, that's still an air test. You know, it's not in the soil. You want that target and that nail to be in the soil. That nail wasn't in the soil there, but that just shows you how those nails have an effect on your target recovery when those coins are deeper. None of my machines will hit that. None of my machines, even the Deus, will not hit that if I have a nail on the surface there. I don't think any machines will, man. No matter what kind of setup you have, no matter what kind of ground balance, hot, super tuned machine you have, it's just not going to hit it, right? In the thick iron, there's a lot of iron in the soil here. It's hard to, I'll show you. I'll show you what this spot looks like. I'll put the Equinox in gold mode here. Turn off the Simplex here because I don't need it. And this is the war zone right here. I'll put it in gold mode with the iron on here. Iron on. And there's still iron in there, but that's not old iron. That's common nails down there. That's why these two machines are hitting that target at 5 inches deep. And once that coin sits in there for a lot longer, I'll be able to hit it a lot better. You know, the Simplex hits that dime there pretty good. I was actually in 40 kilohertz frequency there. I didn't notice that. I'll put it in multi-frequency here and just to show you. Multi-frequency right here. I'll go to a different mode here. I'll try that again. Try it again. See? I'm in Park 1. I'll go to Park 2. And that's just a common piece of wire there, right? See, 5 inches deep. Just one little piece of wire, right? I'll put the square nail over here, right there. Still hitting it good, but I'll move it closer, right there, right there. You know, there's a huge difference, man, between hunting clean ground with not a lot of iron and just a little bit of iron on the surface, man. It makes all the difference in the world on recoveries, getting those deeper targets. I'm gonna bury, hopefully the sun doesn't really hurt my video too much here. My next video, I'm gonna bury nickel at 7 inches and make it a little bit tougher in this iron here. I'm just gonna pick a spot. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.